And a lot of us get bogged down by this idea of normality on an average. And
the way that luxury is presented online is a business.
Yeah.
It is a business. Because how many times do we look at luxury and we think, oh yeah, I want that. Do you know what they did to get that? Some of them are doing illegal activities to get that.
Not the crime rates going up.
Bro.
Don't be mannerless. Please. Please. Gorgeous girls have manners. Hello and welcome to the To My Sisters podcast. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Renee, and we are your online sisters and hosts of the To My Sisters podcast.
We are all about promoting the wellness, growth and development of a community of sisters across the world.
And in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about whether luxury is killing the ladies. Ooh. That's right. Is you aspiring towards that Birkin bag, that LV, earrings, the Christian Dior? Is it killing not just your pockets, but killing your soul? Ooh. We're also going to be delving deep into conversations around what is realistic to aspire to. We're also going to be talking about a whole host of stuff around social media expectations and cough, the influencer economy. Wow, I feel like a real reporter saying all of that, right? But as per usual, before we get into that, we have a
ding
dilemma. So let us get into it. Hey ladies.
Hello sis.
Just want to say, love the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all always provide me with a much needed holy drag weekly, and listening to you guys has definitely pushed me to begin growing. So thank you.
Oh, such is our purpose. Thank you, sis.
My dilemma is I've recently moved to London from Sydney.
Shout out to Australia, but more importantly, shout out to London town.
Yo, London. Damn, we have listeners in Australia.
Yeah, shout out to. I really want to travel to Australia. Every time I say I want to go, all my friends, hence the facial expression, clown me.
So here's the thing. I'm sure it's a great destination, but my concern is that A, it's very long to get to.
Yes.
20 and B, they've got a lot of animals there.
Yeah, but that's a part of
but Courtney, the kinds of animals they have there is like,
hey, I'm not scared.
When you wake up, a tarantula is looking at you too.
I'm not scared of spiders.
Oh well, that's okay, girl. They got koala bears, kangaroos, and those kangaroos don't look friendly. They have all sorts of. It's the variation for me.
I hear it, but I'm still gonna try. I'm gonna
centipedes. They got a lot of variation.
They got a lot of animals here too.
Yeah, but we don't see them like that. You ever see all those animals? Whenever you go
online, you're acting like I'm gonna live in a jungle. I'm going to stay in one hotel somewhere with air conditioning.
No.
On a high floor.
No back alley place. Because it just feels like every time I hear of like crazy things that happen regarding animals, Australia is always the one.
100%. But a quick visit, I feel like this is one of the places in the world you have to see.
Bro, I'm gonna see that from the comfort of my laptop. I ain't gonna lie to you, Courtney. That might have to be.
I can't wait. Australian babes, I'm coming.
Australia. Let's not.
Down under.
Listen, we already butchered the US accent.
We got around the world, baby. We got around the world.
International. Okay, back to the dilemma.
Yeah, sorry.
I've recently moved to London from Sydney in what I thought was my dream job, but for now, I've really been struggling. Nearly 3 months in, I find myself struggling more, having nights where I cry myself to sleep, and just in a whole new world of loneliness. So much so, I find myself going back to toxic people who have hurt me in the past. Do you have any advice on how to make new friends, and anything you ladies do when you find yourself lonely and or seeking comfort from people you know are bad for you?
Wow. I think it's a very important life skill to just like your own company and be comfortable being alone for certain periods of time. So it's not every night you might be able to go out, maybe because you don't have friends, maybe you're not being invited anywhere. So you just have to be okay with having those nights in and finding ways to enjoy your own company, reading, finding a show that you like, finding a hobby that you really like, enjoying music, like actually make being alone fun. And that takes intentionality. In terms of actually finding friends though, put yourself in situations where you have to be social. Now you have to force yourself to kind of meet new people and meet strangers. So, put that post out on, socials that says, I'm in London now, would love to meet up with anyone. You might have somebody in your network already, and organize to go on those coffee dates. You might if you are working in like a place that you enjoy, co-workers, like, oh, you know, I'm new to the city. People will understand that I'm new to the city thing opens a whole bunch of doors for you. When you're already in the city, people are looking at you like, girl, yeah, you haven't got your own friends. But when I'm new to the city, everyone knows, oh, you don't have people like that. So let me invite you to things so that you can get kind of introduced to the people that I know, and you can kind of get to know different people, different circles, and just, you know, be really open. Like, can I go for coffee with you? Or do you want to go out for lunch? Do you want to go and see something together? Do you want to just go out on a walk and go to this museum? There's a lot of free things to do in London, which are absolutely amazing. London is a beautiful city. And so go to the British Museum, go and see things, like go and see all those stolen artifacts, sis. Like, get clued up on British history. But yeah, like go to the art museum, like all of these different things you can do. Just invite someone, you know, just someone you know from work, from if you're in a church, if you're from a religious, like if you have a religious organization, somebody from your church, someone from your mosque, someone from wherever. If you're not like into the spiritual stuff and you haven't got that kind of environment and that kind of community, go on. Like Airbnb has these things where you can do like hobbies, like you can not hobbies, you don't just find spaces, you can actually find things to do. And there are loads of people booking things, and just generally there are loads of like shows and events that are happening. Go on Eventbrite, what's happening in London that might interest you. You're going to then find people who also share those interests, but you have to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations to be able to find new people. Now, thirdly, in terms of drifting back to old toxic ways, very easy. Loneliness is one of the biggest causes of drift. Like when you are on the path that you really want to be on and you know what's healthy for you, and yes, it does seem lonely, as it often does, loneliness will be there whispering in your ear like, you're glowing and everything, but you have no friends.
Bruh.
How does that make you feel, you know? And then all the insecurities start coming in. And I think it's important for you to really realize that you have to guard where you're trying to go to. You have to guard your mind and your heart, and really realize that we always say this: the biggest influences and the biggest causes of like derailment are the people closest to you, because they're the biggest influence in your life, right? And so you have to keep reminding yourself, that wasn't too good for me. Remind yourself, like, that didn't end well. Like it felt nice in the moment, but it didn't end well. I felt disappointed in myself, or it took me further away from my goals than I ever would have wanted. You know, you have to keep reminding yourself that every time I go down this road, good things don't happen, you know, and keep those reminders very present and very sharp. And that doesn't mean don't forgive. And I don't believe in forgiving and forgetting. So I think it's important to remember, you know, just for warning signs, you know, because some people haven't changed, you know, unless people show you that they've changed, you can't let them have the same access to you that they had before, because that's a danger to you, and that would just be foolish. So I think it's important to remember, this is what happens, you know, and that person can change and those people can change, but until they show me that they've changed, this is probably what's going to happen again. So in terms of stopping yourself from drifting back to like old friends and old habits, you have to tell yourself that you deserve better. Like you actually deserve better. And one of the things that we often tell ourselves in terms of I deserve better, we often demand people to change so that they can stay in our lives and give us better. Sometimes people don't want to change, and sometimes they are on their own journey as well, which requires a different length of time to the one that you would require them to change in. You know, somebody's going on a self-discovery journey to be able to, you know, uncover and heal from those anger issues they have, but you need them to stop being angry with you like 10 minutes ago. It's not going to happen. Transformation doesn't happen that quickly, and sometimes we rob people of their own process of transformation because we demand them to treat us better right now. And I'm not saying it's not necessary. I think it's a conversation about choices, rather than of value, and rather than of like, I don't want to be your friend. It's just we're not at the right stage. Like we're both not on the right page right now, you know, and that's okay. So I think it's important for you to tell yourself that the matter of you deserving is not anyone else's issue. It becomes down to you about how you actually filter through, how you create boundaries, how the choices you make that you believe that you deserve. Do you get what I mean? It's less about, I now need Renee to change because I deserve better. Renee, if you can't get on the same page and I've told you this is what I need and you don't want to change, it's now the choice is on me. The fact that I deserve better is my self-revelation. It is my priority. It doesn't have to be your priority, but it is mine, you know? And so it comes now down to, what decisions are you making, sis? And if the decision you keep making is, I'm going to go back to these people who treated me like crap, then you clearly don't believe that you deserve better, right? But you are making a really hard decision. And sometimes that decision is lonely. Sometimes that decision feels like the wrong one. But often you have to take delight in the fact that you are seeing the progress that is being made. You've made this massive decision to move honestly across the world
quite
to pursue some of your dreams. Like, round of applause to you. The last thing you should then do is set yourself back months, years of progress by going back to people who drag you to an old place, you know, or don't treat you in the right way. You're doing yourself a disservice. Your feet have already done the walking. Your heart needs to follow through too. So let it go. Just let it. Like, sometimes I'm one of those, like, I'm gonna start fading away. I'm a fade to black kind of person. Like, I'm gonna start fade. I'm not gonna completely cut you off if you need me. Merry Christmas, happy birthday. Do you need anything? If I can help you, let me help you. But you're not going to have the same level of access that you had before. You know, you can't advise me in the same way, and I don't want to advise you in the same way, or whatever that looks like. Whatever boundaries looks like for you, have them. But sometimes boundaries, like, and I often say this, boundaries aren't walls. You don't just have to block people out completely. You just have to stop them from having the same level of access that they had before. So in terms of how I've dealt with, like, not cutting toxic people off, but like not returning back to toxic people, I have to keep telling myself my reason why. Why did I leave you in the first place? Why did I stop being your friend in the first place? Have you changed? I also ask myself that question. Have you changed? Have I changed? And sometimes both of us have changed too much or too little to let that relationship go back to where it used to be. You have to accept that and start making new friends which take your mind off of it. That's what I'd say. How about you, Renee?
Wow. Live from Down Under with CDB. In my head as you were speaking, I was like, I'm gonna come in with that. But honestly, I think Down Under. I know the Australians listening are like, oh, they've got us.
The American girls have been sick of us for long. It's time for someone else.
It's time. Listen, just you wait till we perfect the South African accent.
I was literally about to the strength of the black panther. I've been practicing. Has been stripped away.
We're coming for it. Comment down below, guys. What accent would you like us to butcher on the next episode of TMS? We'll work on it in the week. And we assure you we'll come back with some fruits and receipts. No, I literally love everything you said. I love the fact that you kind of broke it down into the 3 contingent parts, right? First of all, starting with yourself. I think so many of us are kind of like, how do we deal with people? But we haven't figured out how to deal with ourselves, which is the reason why we are so poor when it comes to dealing with people. And I love the fact that you talked about it really flowing from the self when you return to toxic people or toxic situations, because sometimes it's not necessarily that the person is toxic,
100.
but your chemistry with them or your engagement with them or your relationship with them is toxic,
yeah.
Which means that you need to be more cognizant of the fact that this isn't just a them problem, this is a you and them problem. That's and it. Usually it's a you problem. So I love the fact that you dealt with that and being comfortable in your own company, because it is okay to be alone, but it's painful being lonely. And sometimes dealing with being lonely isn't necessarily about filling yourself with people, but more about getting comfortable in your own, presence and in your own company. So doing those kind of things. And listen, sis, when I say I hear you on the whole moving to a new city and feeling like you don't know nobody.
Oh, yeah, you've done that before.
Boy, when I moved to the States, I knew absolutely not a single person. I didn't know a fly or a dog there. But I ended up making some of like my best friends to this day in the States, because I put myself in uncomfortable situations. I went to all the socials, I went to the bars, I went to the, gatherings, and put myself out there and said, hi, I'm Renee. I'm from the United Kingdom. And listen, the fact that you're from Sydney, girl, you're already special.
Literally, you've got the talking points.
Capital. As soon as you open your mouth, oh my gosh.
You're from Australia.
And beyond the fact that somebody will always say, down under, like as we've done.
100%. Us British people, we're very predictable.
We're terrorists. But to be fair.
Not us being demonetized.
To be fair. FBI, if you're listening into this, there is no illegal activity that is going on here. So being really, what's the word? Being really intentional about putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, especially in a new city, can be so fruitful. Look at a space like To My Sisters. There are literally a bunch of sisters who I am sure are looking forward to welcoming you with open arms and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to actually be actively encouraging acts of friendship and random acts of kindness in some of our upcoming Vision Challenge. But yeah, like really put yourself out there, try to go to the meetups, try to reach out to people, leverage the fact that you're new and in a new space to really get to know yourself better and get to know the people of the city better and make new connections and make new friendships. As it pertains to the folks that are a bit toxic or you have some kind of like toxic engagements with, you need to stop that. Because at this point, you know they're toxic. It's not even like you're unaware that they're bad for you. You know that they're bad for you, but you keep on returning. And that's a cycle that really does need to be broken. And it's a cycle that many of us have with other things, right? Where there's something that we're doing in our life that's pretty toxic. And it's a cyclical thing. And we know it and we keep on going back to it. When it's kind of like a first time offense, it's like, I slipped up. But if you keep going back, the problem is you. So really taking some time away from those people, first of all, really doing practical things to limit your access. I'm not saying going as far as to block numbers, but if you need to block numbers because folks are really toxic out here. You just have to
act legally blind. Do you have, you've messaged me, doesn't mean I have to reply.
Mute. Yeah. And sometimes, when you see the notification come through, just
swipe away and just forget.
You just gotta swipe.
Selective amnesia.
Selective amnesia is what we're going. But you can also take the very direct route and say, have a conversation with them and say, hey, I'm spending some time really focusing on myself right now. So please don't see this as anything, like you don't need to be offended personal, or anything like that. This is not anything personal, but you may not be hearing from me as frequently as before because I'm really focusing on myself, developing new boundaries. There's always that route that you can go, right? That channel, just so that they know. Because I don't know how much you have articulated that you find that the engagements you have with, the other people that you're calling toxic, I'm not sure how much you've articulated that to them, right? Because sometimes we can say, my ex-boyfriend is toxic, or my friends, they're toxic. Have you told them?
Yeah. And
how do you know that you're not, like, how do you know that they're not the only toxic party in that, engagement? So being very like blunt up front is kind of like my approach these days, purely because it's a lot easier and it means that you don't abdicate from your responsibility to work on yourself in that relationship too. Try and be upfront if you can. If not, selective amnesia is there for you. Blocking is there. Nobody's above blocking.
Nobody above blocking.
And really focus on yourself. But yeah, sis, take advantage. New city. London.
Yeah. And I wanted to tap on something as well that you just said about sometimes it's not a them problem, sometimes it's a you problem. What we're not saying you are to blame, right? But what we're saying now, it's now become a you problem.
Yeah.
Like, this thing has happened to me, it is now my problem. I now need to make a choice. Do you get what I mean? So I think it's often easy because we don't want you to get into this hyper analytical, what am I doing wrong? Oh my God, what have I done to cause this? Like, absolutely not. It's more of a, you've taken issue with this. Now you have a choice to make. And I think it's important to really realize life is really just a summation of multiple choices, and you have to keep choosing, right? You have to make informed and correct choices, which is why you listen to the podcast, which is why you look for advice from people, right? To make better informed choices. But you now have choices to make, and the consequences of your choices are yours to bear, Yeah.
They are yours to bear, sis. But welcome to London. We hope you have had a fabulous time.
We need to do another London link up.
Oh,
well, I know before the International Sisters now come shouting. We also are going to do international stuff. We promise you.
We really do.
We promise you. You just need to get vaxxed.
Yeah,
oh my God.
We need the logistics, okay? All the logistic stuff, because that's a hell of a lot of things to plan.
Oh, say it again.
Because it's just us here.
Yes. Actually, update on TMS HQ, aka us.
Yeah.
But team soon expand. Woo. To my sisters, we have released our first resource toolkit for the sisters across the world. I know you're waiting for the conversation on luxury, but we got to talk about this first.
We do.
Because if we're going to talk about finances and social media use and consumption and taking care of your mental health, sis, we've already done a full breakdown to give you all the tools you need to really keep up with these things and get clued up on these things in the Vision 22 digital toolkit.
I know, that's right.
As you guys know, in December, we had our first digital conference and ladies from all over the world joined us to map out and start thinking about their 2022. And loads of you missed out on the digital conference, even though it's sold out. And we are so appreciative of all the demand. But we wanted to bring you something which meant that we wouldn't just sell out and more girls would get excluded and all of that. No, we said, okay, to make sure that every sister all over the world is able to get her hands on something for Vision to be able to plan out her months and her years and beyond, we're going to create this digital toolkit, which we have. And so definitely go to the To My Sisters website or the link in the description or the show notes to go directly to the To My Sisters Vision 22 digital toolkit, which is a set of 6 video guides and a full ebook and a workbook to help you plan out every aspect for your vision casting. It is not too late. I know we're halfway through January. You're thinking, I haven't created a vision board, or maybe I'm already behind on my vision board. No tea, no shade. It's okay. But it's important for you to always have a vision in mind. And this is your ultimate guide to doing so. We drop knowledge, we drop wisdom, we drop resources as well. And we also give you this accompanying workbook so that you can measure your growth and also write down your plans, okay? And then there's so many videos of us talking you through it as well. So go and get it, super affordable. Support the sisterhood, because that's how we get the resources to be able to expand what we're doing, okay? So definitely please support us as you already have been.
Yep, we need the support. Logistics is a lot, and TMS HQ is 2. TMS squared. Let's get into the meats and bones, the main meal, the pièce de résistance.
Luxury living.
Luxury.
I've been thinking about this recently, so it's super interesting that it's come up on the season.
Fantastic, because we're going to be delving into your thoughts, Miss Courtney. And it's giving me what is it, ASMR vibes when you're whispering into the. It's giving luxury. Luxury gives me ASMR vibes. You know, let's talk. Let's dig into it.
I don't have a
Courtney.
Sorry, yeah.
Do you like luxury?
I love luxury. I love luxury.
Like, would you describe yourself as a luxurious person? Luxurious
soft
babe?
life, soft living, luxury.
Talk to me about that. How do you describe luxury living? not the side of
because
contentment.
luxury is so subjective, right? So I'm trying to think of a definition for it that can actually be helpful. But I think luxury is everything that you don't necessarily need, but you want. And so you just do it, right? And I think it's more than just like the nice bags and the designer labels and all of that. But luxury is like, I'm going to have a nice wine and just watch some TV right now and not have to do anything. And also just be gentle with myself, give myself what I consider to be something nice, to do something nice for myself, to do something which I enjoy and not have to explain it to anybody. And also not like whether I splurge on it or I don't. It's all about taking that agency of how you spend your time, how you spend your money, and how you use those things to make you happy, right? I think that's luxury. Like luxury for me last year was, I only want to work on things I'm passionate about. That was luxury. Like being able to say, I'm going to quit my 6-figure business. I'm not going to go and put myself forward for a job which I don't want to take. I'm just going to do what I want to do that I like. And I'm going to work towards that. That for me is the height of luxury. Like I wake up when I want to, I go sleep when I want to. I bear the consequences of such. But also I'm doing it in a way where I don't feel guilty. And I feel like I don't have to explain myself to anybody. I'm doing this for me. This is a big girl decision, and I'm the big girl making it for me. Okay, that's how I feel like, that's what I think luxury is like. And not everyone can afford luxuries, and it's not just about money. It's about context, it's about circumstance, it's about resources, it's about social context and status, and all of these different things that socially and politically impact what we consider to be luxury and how it is attainable for most people. But that's how I would say it: the freedom to spend your resources, your time, your money, your energy in the way that you dictate and the way that you ultimately want. That's what I would say luxury is. How about you?
I love that. No, I love the way that you framed it around like individual agency, because I think there's like luxury, like big L luxury, that's defined by like structures and capitalism, and patriarchy, all the big institutional soldiers that we have to fight on a daily basis, that can make it seem as though luxury is this thing that is completely unattainable and it's this thing that we have to continue to strive for, and it looks a very, very specific way. So I love the fact that you've really framed it around that. And I would be very, very similar in the sense of, I see luxury as being able to do things that I like, that I don't necessarily have to do or I'm forced to do, but doing things I like. Like I enjoy, eating ice cream. I consider that a big luxury. I don't think you understand. Just a couple of days ago, I was on the hunt for like Halo Top ice cream. That is a luxury, because Halo Top, if you're listening, sponsorship. Your ice cream is expensive, but it's great. It's expensive, but it's great. I consider that a luxury, or being able to like spend time with the people that I love in a day that's particularly busy. I consider that a luxury. And I think it's important to highlight that luxury is often relative, right? It's relative 100%. To, what your personal experiences are and what resources you have and can, obtain. And obviously there's different levels of luxury, and not to get into, the nitty gritty and the thick of it, but, certain luxuries or certain things that we take for granted can be seen as luxuries in so many different places. So for me, it's really important, as you said, to really expand our definition of luxury, because when we don't do that, we fall into the trap of keeping up with the Joneses and feeling unfulfilled because we think that we're not living a luxurious life, when luxury is something that should be defined inwardly and not outwardly. And I think it's important for us to also detach luxury from things. I think it's easy, especially with what you're saying, like I guess unpacking those soldiers that you're referring to and the things we have to come against, like capitalism and social structures. I think it's important for us to realize that you don't have to buy a specific thing to be treating yourself to luxury, right? It's the way you use your resources that you have right now. And yes, it is also gaining more of them, but you don't have to buy specific things. You don't have to buy that designer bag in order to be living a luxurious lifestyle. Yes, there's the capital L luxury that, people follow the trends on TikTok and you watch YouTubers because they're living a luxury life. But luxury, small L, like descriptive, I think it's important for you to realize for yourself, you can have luxury wherever you are in life. Obviously, big asterisks before people come for me. I know there are social barriers hindering a lot of people from experiencing what they would even consider for themselves to be luxury. I think that's really important to acknowledge as well. Not everyone can achieve it, but I think for most of us, like listening to this podcast, it's important to look for the little aspects in your life where you can find bliss, like true bliss, and experience it and not have to justify it and not also feel guilty for it either. So whether it's the ice cream, whether it's I'm gonna pause my work right now and go for a walk to get my mind right. For a lot of people, that's human rights. A lot of people can't do that. Work is pounding on their head and they feel this need to kind of punish themselves with work or just grind really hard, and toxic hustle culture. So to be able to say, I'm going to romanticize making this bowl of cereal, that's luxury, and I'm going to take time this morning to make myself breakfast and put my phone on do not disturb and just be here with me. That's luxury. For some people though, it's going to the Bottega store, it's going to the Louis Vuitton store and buying 5 pieces of things and being like, that's luxury. And that's equally so, but be careful to not attach your sense of luxury, or rather I'd say don't deny yourself luxury because you feel like you can't afford it, right? It's not about how much money you have. It's really about how are you spending the resources that you have, not just money, but time, energy, mind space, all of it. No, I definitely love that. Ooh, going to the little store, Christian Dior, and getting myself iced out and whatnot. Get a little treat for me, me and mine. But no, I love what you were saying. And I guess to jump even further into the real deep end of the pool, around social media, particularly influencers, particularly female influencers, because I do know that obviously male influencers and folks that are non-binary, they do have their own particular, roles to play when it comes to purporting this image of luxury in their respective spaces. But for women in particular, talk to me about, influencers, luxury, and creating this ideal standard of luxury that looks like going on a swing in Bali.
Not the swing in Bali.
The swing in Bali. I know, listen, there's like some pictures. There's like some particular images or luxury that
you have,
There's the one in the bath with the rose petals. And you're looking in, you might be, sorry, look at me getting excited. You might be in flipping Iceland or something and you see like the mountains or you're in the Maldives and you're wearing the swimsuit and you're doing the whole.
Yeah, on those huts in the sea.
Then there's the Bali and the swing. Yeah. And then there's the haute couture in either Milan or London and you're wearing like the oversized shades and you've got the tiny bag that you can't put anything inside.
I don't understand those anyway. It's not my issue.
They literally look like little huts. Like, what do you do with them?
It's a good question.
You can't even put a pen in them. You can put like a pound. Like when you're going to like Morrison's or Tesco's and you need a pound.
It's fashion. It's fashion. It's luxury fashion.
Oh God, luxury fashion is not functional. But that's a discussion. That's
a different conversation.
That is. But yeah, talk to me about influencers and selling standards of luxury that might be detrimental or potentially harmful to the female masses.
Okay. As somebody who creates content as well on YouTube and on Instagram, I think it's important for us to have a good understanding of what social media and content is, right? Because I think a lot of people see it as people create this content, they bought all these things and they're suggesting that I should live my life just like this. First and foremost, social media and content in particular is for education and entertainment, right? And the majority of the lifestyle content that you see from your favorite influencer is entertaining content, right? It's aspirational content. It's somebody is living a life. It's the same reason why you watch somebody's travel vlogs, right? They're doing something which I might want to do, or I want to imagine myself. I'm going to live vicariously through them, basically. Or I'm getting insight into a life that I might want, or I might not actually want, but it seems cool to me, And so it's important for us to realize that most influencers, I think, don't go into their content intentionally thinking, I'm doing this to show you what you should or should not have. Actually, I'm creating this content pretty much to entertain you. And you can see it through the statistics, right? People like to see pretty things, but that they can afford it or they can't afford it. It's the same reason why we used to watch things like Homes Under the Hammer. You ain't bought a house yet, but it's so interesting and entertaining. Or the reason why we used to watch reality TV, it's so interesting to see how another set of people live, right? So I think that's one thing to remember. Like, I think most content creators are not creating their content out of malice or out of what they might not see as malicious intent to create these insecurities in other people or to create these false ideals of luxury. However, it's important to note that when there is a huge influx of this kind of content, there will be this perception of representation needs to be replicated. Do you get what I mean? I need to replicate what it is that I am seeing in order to attain that lifestyle, especially when the people who are demonstrating this lifestyle gain some kind of social status from that lifestyle. And so for a lot of us, we see that influencers, they get the compliments, they get the obviously the monetary gain and the financial status, but also the attention and maybe the attention that we desire, they have it, right? And so we now see that capital as something that suggests if I don't have these things, I don't gain these things, right? If I don't have this particular bag or I don't look this particular way, I am not living a luxury lifestyle. I am not living a lifestyle that is worth, or I'm not living a life that is worth anything. It's not particularly entertaining. It's not particularly exciting. It's just normal. And a lot of us get bogged down by this idea of normality and average. And, you make an average salary you live in a city, like you live in a city or you live in an apartment, which might look average as well. But because you see these really aesthetic Pinterest pictures or Instagram pictures, you think you're living substandard. But actually the reason why these aesthetics are so high is because they are on social media. Like it's cause and effect, right? It's not just because it's not social media making you feel some way. These things are on social media because they need to be on social media. It's people's work, right? If I showed you my average apartment in my council flat, you might not find that entertaining. No. Let's
under the hammer.
Because it's so easy. No, because it's so easy to be like Instagram people or influencers are creating these really bad ideals.
Yeah.
But what are you watching?
Oh, well then.
You're subscribed to all of these people for a reason, right? They've put in all this work. And a lot of influencers now, like for example, for us as content creators, we were intentional about getting this apartment, not to flex, because of work. I need to be somewhere that looks nice. And where I currently am, it's the reason why I got my office spaces when I was living at home. Where I currently am, I cannot create content to the level that I want in this space. So it's the same way you would go and get an office or a bigger warehouse or whatever. That's what people are doing now with their lifestyle, because their lifestyle is the business. Their lifestyle is the work. So I think that's one thing to kind of ease off of. But it's important to see that this thing really is a cycle, right? The more you watch, the more it's affirmed. Therefore, the more it's recreated, right? The more your favorite content creator is going to create that kind of content and show you those kinds of things. But I think it's important for us to realize that, like, you have to manage your expectations, and you also kind of have to drop that. You have to you need to drop the rose tinted glasses and start seeing your feed as, this is people's job, this is their work, and also they are providing to a degree a service. The same way you watching your favorite show, whether you watch like Girlfriends, for example, like your favorite show, the way they've set everything, the way they've scripted everything is so that you can be entertained, right? It's intentional so that you can be entertained. That's their entire purpose. And they're not bad for doing that. That's their job. Influencers are oftentimes the same way, and a lot of us normal people then recreate it because we're like, I need to display my life like this to you. You actually don't have to. You can choose to kill that barrier and start a new trend at the same time. I feel like I veered so much off the first question because I was ranting, but
it's always wonderful when you rant, Miss Courtney.
Thank you. I think it's important to realize that as consumers of this content, we also need to be very conscious about what we are consuming and what we're allowing it, how we are allowing it to shape us, our mindset, and also how we're letting it influence our spending of our resources, right? And so, yes, you double tap that picture, and yes, it looks pretty, and yes, it might be inspiration for you, but that person is not dictating to you what it is you should or should not have. And if you do feel like the people you follow or your feed is making you feel uncomfortable or depressed or upset about your current lifestyle, and it's making you feel inferior to who you're seeing, you, my friend, need to recurate your entire feed, because that's not your social media should not be detrimental to your mental health, but that's a you issue, right? Like if we go and we go to every single person, change your feed, how can you dictate to anybody, especially if they're making money from it, child? You can't tell me to stop nothing. Do you get what I mean? It's not about Absolutely that. It's more so, okay, I'm going to reshape what I am consuming, right? I'm going to be intentional about it for me. And yes, we can campaign about, like we're saying, the social issues and the way it influences young girls and people who aren't clued up on how much agency they actually have, and also don't have agency because they're underage or whatever. Whilst we can kind of control our environment, we will. And so go through your feed, and you know, whilst I find you really inspirational, I also think you make me feel bad about the fact that I don't live like you live, and I don't want to be around that negativity. Yeah. Unsubscribe, unfollow, mute, block, whatever it is that you need to do. I think that's important to do as well, and get something that doesn't make you feel bad. But also, if you are somebody who does watch aspirational content, it's aspirational. Be graceful with yourself to know I'm not there yet.
Yep.
But I might be working towards it. And also follow people who are also, this is another big thing. Ooh. Please follow people and influencers. If you are listening to this, please do be honest about the hustle. Please do be honest about, this is how I worked to get this, right? And I think it's important as well. If you are you're doing this for aspiration is all about a journey. You can't then leave gaps in the story. Like, be honest about the fact that I've been doing well with my sponsorship campaigns. You know, I've been doing well with the work that I'm liking the quality of work that I'm creating. And because I like it and because I'm putting all this effort into it, these are the rewards. I know not everyone's job is my job. Yeah. So you might not be making the same level of income and you might not want to spend your money on these same things, but this is why I buy the things that I like. And you don't have to justify yourself, but you do need to be honest. I think it's important. I think it's also important for people to realize, like, sorry, I'm going to let you talk. I'm talking so much.
That's okay. We all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Nope. Out of order. I think it's also important to, like I said, be honest about your resources and also be honest about the full story. Because I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves that because I am watching people who seem accessible to me in terms of they're just like me, their story started just like me,
I should be there.
I should be there, right? Like, they just bought this house, they've just done this, they just done that. Most influencers are not making the average salary. Most successful influencers, should I say, are not making the average salary, right? And so if you can, and as women, I think we should be more transparent about things like finances. I think we should also be proud of and display how much we hustle, how much we grind, and also the strategies we are using to make money. Because some people don't work that hard for that money, their money. And that's not a bad thing, because not all money should be earned through blood, sweat, and tears. Like, I don't think that's true either. Yeah, no. So I think as women, if we're coming up with new strategies on how to have these multiple streams of income and passive income streams, and that means we can now afford these luxuries, or if we are breaking our back to buy these luxuries, I think we should also be honest about that as well, to give people realistic expectations from aspirational content.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh. Wow. No, that was that definitely resonated with me, and I'm gonna address this backwards to the order that I was going to address it in. Just kicking off the back of what you were saying around aspirational content and understanding that the way that luxury is presented online is a business. Yeah, it is a business. It's a lucrative one, and much like a lot of other structures, it is, you know, a manifestation of capitalism. The intent is to make you want things that you don't have. You need to be cognizant, and you need to actually like be aware of the fact that a lot of this content that people create is to help you, or, you know, make you want to desire something that you don't have. That's the name of the game. Once you realize that, you've like, that's the cheat code, bro. And that's how you get away from a lot of content that you just mindlessly consume. People don't realize that, this is going to sound like, you know, mega conspiracy theorist, but it's not a conspiracy. It's literally real life. Capitalism and, you know, these forms of luxury are intended to make you feel, a lot of it is intended to make you feel insecure if you're mindlessly consuming. Yes. When you lack control over what you consume, you become what you consume. Is it a, you know, surprise that you're suddenly feeling so unhappy? You're feeling bitter. You're feeling, you know, upset. And I think it also contributes to lots of like collective feelings of like outrage towards like influencers who yesterday you loved, but then tomorrow you're like, I hate this person.
Yeah, or, they don't work that hard. They're just good for nothing. They're just
waiting and watching for the downfall of like several influential people. And it's just like, I hear it, but you're doing like, it's a lot. It's a lot that you're doing.
See it for what it is, you don't really get disappointed.
There we go. And that's even, oh gosh, that's a whole nother conversation into our having realistic expectations for influencers. Influencers are not politicians. They are not activists as well. And this is not to say don't hold them to account, but this is to say, let's be more nuanced in our critique. And let's also understand like the way that you critique as well needs to show awareness and understanding that this person is not worth the kind of vitriol that you're throwing at them. It's actually not worth it. That's not their job description. So understanding that luxury and often obscene amounts of luxury it's a business. It's a lucrative business. It's intended to make you feel insecure if you're mindlessly consuming that content. And that's something that we talk about all the time at TMS. Be very intentional about the content that you consume, especially in 2022.
Yeah.
In 2020 and 2021, we've seen obviously outbreak of the pandemic. We had more time. We were at home, you know, digital world, all that kind of stuff. As we plunge further and further into a more digitized world, it is even more important that you're super intentional about what you consume, what you're watching, who you're listening to, why you're listening to them. What are they feeding you? Are they feeding you, you know, is it aspirational content, or is it content that's actually making you feel bad about yourself? And it's not necessarily that they're always intending to make you feel bad. It might just be that you're actually not their target audience at this time as well.
Yeah.
Understand that also not all content is actually for you. And that is okay.
Yeah.
Not all content created is for you. It's there
So
for you to
excellent.
consume, but it doesn't mean that it's for you.
Yeah.
And again, that's where that intentionality around consumption of content, especially around luxury content, is even more important. And then this whole idea of luxury as sometimes being escapism. Sometimes I watch travel vlogs because I want to be in Dubai. Sometimes I want to be in Antigua. I too want to feel, you know, sand between my toes. Sometimes I want to, you know, hold a Birkin bag. Actually, I'm not even a bag person, you know. I'm not really that much of a bag person.
I hear it. I am.
To be honest, I'm not an accessories person at all.
Oh,
Bags or shoes. I'm just like,
me, it's the jewelry and bags.
jewelry I can get with, perfume I can get with.
Yeah, you're a
That
perfume
person. Yeah, run up that bill, baby.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And perfumes can run up a good.
You see that? What's the name? Maison. What do you call it? Oh, it's actually
the one that makes Baccarat Rouge.
There you go. Yeah.
You see, I don't
line.
know. I have one perfume and that's my scent till the thing finishes.
I have like 9.
Yeah.
Or 10. That perfume, or rather that line of fragrances, luxury. That's like £250 plus. And then that's not even lux. There's some perfumes that are costing like 500 GBP, 1,000 GBP.
Yeah.
I better come out smelling like Jesus. Like I better be.
No, it must be.
I better convert somebody. I better float when I walk into the room when I spray that perfume. Sometimes luxury can be used as a form of escapism. Yeah. But if you're going to use it as a form of escapism, make sure that it doesn't make you despise your present. Because that's also
disassociate from your present.
Exactly. And that's why you get so many people that are, you know, feeling depressed about their present. It's not necessarily because they don't have enough. It's because they have created the illusion, or they have fallen into this perception of I need more to be happy.
Yeah.
And it's so basic, but it's like so many of us lack gratitude. And that's why we even have to be so intentional about being grateful for the things that we already have. Yeah. Like it is tied to our earlier discussion around like what is luxury. Yeah. And there's so many things that we have that are luxurious, but we don't see it as luxurious because we're allowing outside factors to monopolize our definition of luxury. It's so sad. Like, it's a luxury to be able to spend time with people that you love and go outside, especially in this cold weather in the UK. Yeah. It's a luxury. It's a luxury to have, you know, oh gosh, I'm going to sound like one of them, you know, parents that are like, put a roof over your head and food on the table. Yeah. But these things are luxuries.
Yeah, they're privileges.
They're privileges. And it's really important that obviously we enjoy luxurious things or things that we think are luxurious to ourselves, but we always keep one eye open on the luxuries that are already present in our lives and stop looking towards, you know, constructed realities online and think that's the way I want my life. Because how many times do we look at luxury and we think, oh yeah, I want that. Do you know what they did to get that? Some of them are doing illegal activities to get that.
Not the crime rates going up.
Bro.
I was literally just thinking that in my head. I was just thinking like, it's not bad to aspire for luxury and what you conventionally think of when we say the word luxury, right? It's not bad to want the bag. Like, we're not shaming anybody on that at all. We're not saying, oh my God, you've been bamboozled by capitalism.
We're shaming
you.
Yeah,
if you're a criminal, not only are we shaming you, reveal yourself.
We're reporting you.
Justice is a
That's
key
why
pillar.
the FBI have been listening to TMS. That's right.
They're trying to fight scammers. But I think it's important to aspire and achieve luxury, whatever that might be, but navigate luxury with ease. Luxury is the reason why the people buy the nice things and you see them is, it's not It's not luxury if you spent your rent money on a LV bag. That's not luxury. That's dumb.
That's debt.
That is dumb
and debt.
Like that's not luxury. There is nothing luxury about that. That is pure foolishness. If you don't have a roof over your head, but you've got 10 bags sitting in your, and I'm not telling you how to live your life before people come for me. You shouldn't tell people how to live your life. Don't come for her,
come for me. I'm telling you, that was dumb. Don't do that.
Wisdom cries out. Those who want to live, listen. Okay. Like wisdom is a real thing. Okay. It is unwise to have loads of luxury items and not be able to pay your bills. The reason why luxury is so aspirational is luxury is being navigated with ease, right? Like it seems like, especially I see like these categories of black women luxury and seeing black women in luxury. It's so nice to see black women doing good things for themselves, nice things for themselves with ease, right? Like they're no longer being pressured or feeling burdened or feeling like they cannot be soft. They're doing it because they believe they deserve it, and they're navigating it with ease because their money is up. They're reclaiming their time, they're reclaiming their energy, and they're doing everything to protect their mental, emotional, and spiritual health, right? That is so beautiful to see. That is aspirational. Those things are a manifestation of a deeper work that's been done, and it's not always like emotional work. Sometimes it's the internal work of getting that degree, realigning your career goals, right? Upping your financial knowledge and your financial management. But it's important for you not just to see the thing and think that the thing denotes luxury, because sometimes for a lot of us it's not luxury, it's foolish. It's a lot of the things that are on your vision board. You're pushing yourself to strive for it really hard, when actually for you, beloved, for your individual circumstance, it's dumb. You can't even pay your bills on time.
There we go.
Focus on that.
Oh, reorient your vision. Reorient your vision. I love that. And I think what's also important to note about luxury is counting the cost.
Yeah.
Like really counting the cost. And I'm not just talking about the cost in terms of like how much time is it going to take up, or how much money do you have to spend, obviously at the expense of bills that you have not paid. Pay your bills.
Please.
Give on to Caesar as is
ain't nothing
due to Caesar.
Ain't nothing luxury or cute about homelessness.
It's not. How are you up
or
in the
bailiff
club?
Letters. Pick letters through your door.
Oh, you've been served.
Not taking you to small court. Magistrates.
Not small claims.
Are you gonna rock up with your YSL boots to the courthouse? Looking like Cookie Lion.
That's another thing. Sometimes luxury can look so gaudy, and I'm just like,
yeah, but that's another conversation. Luxury doesn't necessarily, or designer doesn't necessarily mean stylish, but that's another conversation. Another conversation.
You know them man there that be wearing like Hermes belt on their head, like a whole WWE championship. Anyways, oh my people. But back to counting the cost and understanding that sometimes luxury will cost you. And this whole idea of luxury will cost you. And I think it's one of the conversations more widely that we've been having in social media around like exploitation, right? And the fact that a lot of luxurious items, to be honest, a lot of the things that we have in our own lives are as a result of exploitation. And understanding that we are, as uncomfortable as it is to sit with, we are all participants in a exploitative system.
There you go.
And we need to be doing actively our bits to be giving back to communities, to be rebuilding communities that have been victims of exploitation.
Yeah, to educate ourselves as well.
Precisely, to educate ourselves and to really think about, again, intentionality, the decisions around what we what we want to do with ourselves and how we define luxury, and counting the cost. Who is this at the expense of? It's not just you that sometimes your luxury is, at the expense, impacting or at the expense of. Sometimes your luxury, not even sometimes, most of the time, your luxury is at the expense of someone else.
100%.
And like an example I can think of is like folks that go to like really like bougie restaurants, right? One of my like biggest pet peeves, and this is like my big red flag in a lot of human beings in life, is the way that you treat service workers. I despise the way that some folks be treating service workers, because it's almost like you forget that they're human. And as a babe that has done, I've done my time in retail, I've done my time in call center.
She has.
I have. I'll tell that story another day.
You've told it before.
Oh, have I?
Yeah.
Okay, the girls know already. That's good. Well, if you're new here, you need to go back to a former episode to listen to that story. Yeah. But I've done my time in like the service industry, and it can be extremely dehumanizing. Like a lot of people get luxurious things or do luxurious things and then start to treat people as less than human.
Yeah.
Forgetting that, you know, you might be out here for the night, but you're going back to your flat tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
Or you might be going back to your big house, but it's why is your ego so attached to the things you have? It's it's the bottom of the barrel.
Boy, the stories that I've heard and also the things that I've experienced, people that will go to fancy restaurants and they'll be like, the way that they behave because they're at a luxurious restaurant and expecting stellar service. And it's just like, so in the name of luxury, you're out here acting like an idiot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And you might think that you've earned the right to act like a complete idiot. You haven't. No one does.
So not
Being
classy.
an idiot is not something you earn. It's something that unfortunately you become. No, it's true.
You don't have to earn this one.
This is not earned. This is an unfortunate fall. And it must be recognized as such.
So one of the ways that I think that sometimes luxury can kill the ladies is it really kills your humanity.
Yes.
When you think that, you know, you're entitled to service that is oriented around certain definitions of luxury, you start to get, you know, become more implicated in this process of exploitation and you start to treat people as less than human.
Yes. Yeah.
These are people's families.
Yes.
These are people's brothers and sisters and even the whole having to do the thing of this is a person is ridiculous. And I'm so sick of it. Yeah. Like I'm so sick of people. There was no onions in my burger. Take my onions back.
Yeah.
With Vim.
It's the snap. I hate the snap. Like, no, people haven't. You still, like your money hasn't meant that you don't need manners. No, it pisses me off. Like as somebody who is both Ghanaian and British, I'm always please, thank you, please, thank you, sorry, thank you, please, thank you, thank you, please, yes, please, no, please, thank you, yes, please, sorry, no, that's literally us, yeah.
Do you know how funny that is?
That is us. That is my culture. One thing I can't stand from little children to grown men, mannerlessness. Disgusting. Okay. Sorry, I just had to put that in there. Don't be mannerless. What? Please. Gorgeous girls have manners.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Gorgeous girls have manners.
Where's your manners? Where's your humanity? You put on one shiny shoe, you rock up to the
and then you're still saying dismantle the patriarchy, dismantle like capitalism, dismantle the social structure. You can't be a socialist and be mannerless. Can't be a feminist and be mannerless. I'll be out here thinking you're better than people because you have a nice bag. And then be pissed when other people then objectify you. Do you get what I mean? Like you can be so pissed that people have hypersexualized you or whatever your situation is because of who you are, but you do the same things to other people, right? But their circumstance is different and you do it in a different way. Yep. Your prejudice is manifesting. It's disgusting.
It's very smelly.
It's horrible.
It's terrible.
You're stinky. It's stinky.
Oh, don't kill me. Actually, don't kill me. But sis, let's address it. Sometimes your aspirations for luxury or your tastes, when you have your little tastes of luxury, your character goes out of the window.
100%. And there are ways to do luxury which align with your character. And we're not telling you what morals to have, but, you know, these are the morals we possess. So I think it's important to also like think to yourself about how you can be luxury but sustainably, right? Because another thing about luxury is often when you, especially if you are relying on social media is all about trends. Your favorite person is jumping on trends. It's all about trends. And it's the same in fashion. It's the same because I'm like a very like, I like nice things. Yeah, I like nice things. Yeah, hope all the episodes have let you know I like to look nice. I like to feel
high
nice.
High class babe.
But at the same time, I have to think to myself consciously, especially from like a social aspect, and also environmentally. How does my luxury leave a stamp on the earth? Right? Does it make things better or worse? Because environmentally, you constantly changing your wardrobe, especially from fast fashion brands, is not great. The pay that they often can pay their workers is not great. And I still shop from fast fashion brands, so please don't misinterpret what I'm saying, because even my top is from PLT. And I think a lot of people get into, don't support fast fashion brands. As a plus size woman, tell me the slow fashion brands that I can support apart from Hanifa. And Hanifa doesn't even always go up to my size. Neither does things like Grassfields, like all these other amazing companies. Sometimes because they are small companies, they cannot be as inclusive. Child, even big companies out here, Zara, they brought out nothing bigger than a size 18, 16. And sometimes their 18 is the 12.
It's because
with a different label.
Because all of their models are out here doing.
How can you be posed like this and you're posing to me, showing me the necklace and the waist like this?
Bruh, your feet will be up.
Can you even breathe?
The feet will be up here like this. Meanwhile, the thing on show is the short.
Exactly.
Why is your foot here?
Why are you standing on the stove? To show me a jacket?
Haute couture.
It's not.
Haute
It's
couture
silly.
fashion.
But yeah, like, even bigger brands struggle to have inclusive lines, right? So sometimes it's hard to even demand that from smaller companies, sustainable, slow fashion, which have even smaller productions and often are independent owned. So I think it's important to also realize that. But even when you are somebody who has to shop from fast fashion brands, especially if you don't have the money for luxury or slow sustainable fashion, and you can't just save all your money to buy one top and wear that one top every day, you know, I think it's important to still think intentionally about the way you consume from fast fashion brands, right? Because there is a way, make use of your washing machine. Yeah. For some reason, because of social media, we're falling into this bad habit of, you wore that last time.
I did.
I have a washing machine. I'm going to wear my clothes over and over and over again.
That's what we do with clothes.
Do you get what I mean? Buy from charity shops. Destigmatize the idea of re-wearing outfits everywhere. Just because it's another outing doesn't mean you need another outfit.
Do you think the Vikings were out here worrying about changing their fit? They were at war, baby. We at war.
No, it's important to think intentionally about how you even consume from fast fashion brands, because there is a way to do it. So don't fall and give into every trend. Your wardrobe doesn't need to be changed all the time. That's right. Rewear and wear your clothes, and yes, update them from time to time, but don't attach even if you are a fashionista and all of that, still think about sustainability. And even if you are going to, like as a tip, even if you are going to revamp your wardrobe all the time and you buy clothes very often, give your other clothes to charity shops. Don't just put them in the bin and let them go to landfill. Like, let's think about the environment. Let's think about sustainability. And also let's think about how we can open the door to others who may not have access to what we have. Like giving the clothes literally to homeless people if you can. Clean them, give them to homeless people, give them to charity shops. Do whatever you can. Have like a drive, whatever that might be, to give back and think about how you can intentionally level up, but also, like we always say, give back to community and really be community minded in the way that you do it.
Oh, Courtney, that was a phenomenal little nugget there.
No, I learned it from my mum. Growing up, my mum always used to make sure we were pimped out. We always looked good, but my mum was in the Oxfam. She was in the red, I was about to call them the Red Cross. Is it Red Cross? The charity shop. Yeah. Like she was in charity shop. She was buying things on sale. And then when we outgrew our clothes, she would give them to my sister. Then my sister gave them to our cousins, and our cousins are still passing those clothes on, and they're still good, they're still intact. And she was always intentional about, it's not about buying the clothes, it's about how well can you keep the clothes. Like my mum would always tell me, stop buying new clothes, because the old clothes, you don't keep them well. You're literally wasting your money and you're ruining the environment. Well, my mum doesn't, she's not an environmentalist. My mum will tell you, ozone, where's that? After zone 6, she doesn't know. So So I think, but my mum would always say it's about keeping things, and a lot of our parents were able to upgrade their lifestyles, right? And this is bigger picture, right? Not just buying a bigger house and all that, but literally moving from one country, being an immigrant, not having money. All of our parents have been able to make do with what they have because of resourcefulness. Okay, even if you're 6-figure babe, 7-figure babe, and all, cultivate resourcefulness in every aspect.
Spending money like a drug dealer.
Yeah. Because you think you have to. That's not how people.
Is your name James St. Patrick?
That's how people be spending money out here. And stop trying to flex. Let me tell you something, sis.
Pablo Escobar.
For a second. Stop trying to flex, because the girl you're flexing on, she ain't gonna remember you in 2 years. And you're here breaking your leg. Breaking your people neck to be able to have the newest this, the newest
Once
that.
People have seen you on the
give
gram,
a
like
damn.
they will be on their merry way. That's it.
100%. And also the people who do give a damn now, they ain't important.
They're
really not important. They're not going to give you money when you go broke. They're not going to help save your health. They're not going to help if your relationship
You cannot
crumples.
exchange your likes for GBP, dollar,
At all.
yen,
Well,
CDs.
sometimes you can.
Oh yeah.
But
Engagement
also,
rate, yeah.
exactly. But
Yeah,
also
yeah.
the same people who are watching you from entertainment, your downfall will also be entertaining.
Oh,
100%. If I'm watching you for entertainment, the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian was crying on TV. How many times? It's entertaining. The same way we loved watching the engagement, we loved watching the wedding day. It's the same way we love watching the divorce. It's not, you're the entertainment, babe. We don't care about your emotions. And so take very lightly the applause of other people, right? Ooh, don't live for that.
they'll applaud you on your way to the top and applaud you as you fall to the bottom.
Everyone's still eating popcorn.
Jeez.
You're the entertainment. And that's the same for influencers or aspiring content creators. Guard your heart. People are here for a reason.
They are.
They are here to consume. Okay? That's your job.
They're going to eat you up, whether it's good food or bad food.
There you go. They are here to consume. So also manage your expectations as well and guard your heart and your mind too.
That is excellent, Courtney.
Thank you.
No, that was actually stellar stuff right there. That was A+.
I'm trying. I've been trying to. Yeah, like I said, I've been thinking about this whole thing. Yeah.
No, I definitely love that. And ladies, it's not bad to aspire to luxury as ever. Be a luxurious babe. Be a beautiful, gorgeous honey.
Gorgeous
whatnot.
girl.
Get yourself nice things, but be more critical in your engagement with these things, and make sure you pay your bills.
Please.
First.
Biggest man thing.
Ain't nobody pay the rent with
Give to charity. That's luxurious.
Give to charity. Genuinely, that's one thing that we, as part of even our vision for TMS, giving has always been at the heart of everything that we do. And it's so often that when we think of like leveling up and being successful, we envision ourselves on holiday or having all of these material things. And for us, we really challenged ourselves to create a vision that encompasses collective leveling up.
Yeah.
What does it look like to give back to communities? What does it look like to have a resurgence of that real spirit of community where we actually actively give back to not just our local communities, but globally, right? How do we leverage the fact that, we have sisters across the world, or we have people that we care about across the world? How do we mobilize ourselves on an individual basis to start, clocking in our hours and clocking in our receipts?
Yeah.
It's really important to think of, and this is something we're going to challenge you on throughout the year and as TMS continues to grow and develop. How can you make yourself useful to the world beyond your individual success?
Yeah.
Beyond your individual luxury? What does luxury look like on a collective basis? How can we make sure that all sisters feel as though there are luxuries that are present in their lives? How can we, potentially help other sisters and other women have luxurious things that we take for granted? Yeah. So really being community minded when we think about luxury is definitely something that we want to leave you with. And then also being extremely intentional about guarding your heart and guarding and cultivating your character as you aspire towards luxury. Don't think that just because you've leveled up or become successful in any kind of arbitrary means through the acquisition of materials or the acquisition of things that all of a sudden you answer to nobody and no one. All of a sudden you are above reprimand and retribution. All of a sudden you are an authority unto yourself who can ask for 10 million onions in your burger because you have the money for it. Hashtag luxurious babe. The most luxurious babes are the one that have class. You need to have class. All right. You need to be classy, and you need to remember that people are human. So Remember, luxury, this is a collective movement that we're starting.
Yeah.
The Luxurious Babes. SZ on the end. Do you remember? When we used to put Z on the end of words.
When we used to like substitute the letters in our names for numbers.
Wrap it up. So ladies, if you have any thoughts towards luxury, as per usual, we want to hear them. Drop them like it is hot and expensive in the comments.
I like that.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God. In the comment section below, if you are watching this on YouTube, and ladies that are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else, hop onto social media. Come say hello, comment, engage, email us. Be present, man. We want to see you. We want to see you. We want to hear from you. And our handle at To My Sisterhood on Instagram and the Twitters. And of course, if you want to come say hello to us individually, to this lovely lady of wisdom and luxury and leisure over here on my left. Lady of class. High class. High class. Not the exploitative, the institutional. We have to clarify because man, we have to clarify that we are the bourgeois. We are not. Listen, we are not members of the bourgeoisie. Okay, we are here trying to make sure that folks we're babes of nuance, critical thinking.
We are.
We have very, very deep discussions that encompass multiple angles.
Trying to unravel the unraveling, unravel them, and
there's multiple angles to this one. Just in case, fam, they'll find the clip and say, you're a socialist, you're a capitalist, you're terrible, you're stupid here. All the necessary disclaimers, but please come and say hi to Courtney at CD Boateng, and of course come say hi to me at Renee Kapuku.
Yes, ladies, and please sign up to the mailing list so that you never miss a beat from us. Go and buy that Vision Digital toolkit. We will include it in the newsletter every single week for you to grab your copy to start your 2022 vision and beyond and start achieving it. And so yes, email us hello@tomysisters.com. That's where you can send all your dilemmas. Head to the website tomysisters.com to sign up for the mailing list and also to send your dilemmas on the contact form and to get your toolkit. And what else is there to talk about? Follow us on TikTok at To My Sisterhood.
We out here on TikTok too. And I hope you sisters have been reading because January is almost done.
Fast coming to an end. I can't believe we're halfway through already. But yes, reading challenge is still going on. Can they still make entries?
I mean, if you can get your 2 books in.
Yeah, read 2 books this month and have a chance to win £100 from us. Go and tag us over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you are, and you can find us at To My Sisterhood, and we will enter you into the competition, baby. The Vision Fund is going on. It's up and away. But sisters, we love you. We cannot wait to talk to you again next Sunday, every week. Rate the podcast 5 stars. You know the drill already. We'll talk to you very soon. And as always, keep glowing and growing.